It's going to be yet another big matchup. Kelly Slater, Kehu Butler, Jair Perez, Kaspar Haminga. We got surfers from the USA, New Zealand, Costa Rica, and the Netherlands. And for the three surfers in the water surfing against Kelly Slater, what a moment, what an opportunity provided by the ISA for them to go up against and potentially take down the greatest surfer of all time. How excited would you be, Todd, if you were one of these three guys being able to surf against the one and only Kelly Slater today?
Well, just like for the women, Chris, we were able to catch up with some of the athletes, and it's exactly what we think. They literally, when you ask them, hey, what's it like to go up against the likes of Stephanie Gilmore on the women's side, being a 7-time world champ? Well, we asked the same thing for the men. What's it like to have the opportunity to surf against Kelly Slater, the greatest of all time, with 11 world titles? And they say the same thing as what the women were saying. Hey, this is truly a dream come true. Not only to surf against truly the world's best here, but also to have that opportunity to possibly qualify for those Olympics. So dreams being realized across the board here at this year's event.
Well, a dream come true so far for Brian Perez representing El Salvador. He's on the beach now with Jody Nelson.
Thanks, Chris. Brian, you had an amazing experience at the Pan American Games. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was a good experience in Pan American Surfing Games. I'm super happy to get a bronze medal for my country. And yeah, so happy. When I get the bronze medal, everything changed to me and to the country, because now other people talk about surfing in El Salvador. It's a small country, but we are a lot of surfers, and yeah, it makes so happy to give it that stock to my country. It's so nice.
And being one of the surfers that went to the Pan American Games, I would say that's probably the closest thing to Olympics we've had so far. What was that experience like, just with all the other teams and everything?
Yeah, it was so nice because I just was me in the men event, and then it was nice to have a different country with us, and we stay in the same place, enjoy a lot, surf a lot every day. It was nice to be close to a good surfer, like Alejo Muniz, other guys surfers, so good, and I learn a lot. Every contest I go in, my mission is to learn a lot because I'm young and I don't know that much, but every contest I go, that's why I go, I learn and have fun.
And let's talk about this last heat you just had. You had Jeremy Flores in that heat.
Crazy.
And Yanni from Israel. Does that help your confidence, taking down names like that?
Yeah, I was a little nervous the first wave I got, but then I say I can do it. I start believing myself, and the last contest I do in the Pan Am making me more believing myself, and now I do this hit. I want to say I make the hit, and yeah, I made it. I was so nice to have Jeremy Flores next to me and a hit at 16 level, and nothing is so much fun to be here.
Congratulations, Brian. Such a great heat for you. And guys, we look forward to seeing him in the next round.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jody. Watch out for Brian Perez. He is on a roll. Well, we got 15 minutes and 45 seconds to go here in this heat. Yet to see any waves ridden.
What a humble interview there. What I took from him was how humble he was, and he says, hey, everywhere I go, I want to learn more. I don't know everything, and yet he's confident, obviously, when he's in the water, but he says he's young and he wants to continue to learn, and I like that. He just seems to really come across as a very humble individual.
Todd, I know you've been competing in Japan for a long time. You've been here multiple dozens of times. Swells here are pretty tricky to forecast, as it really relies on typhoon winds way out in the ocean. So when we see the rise and fall of these swells, it can come up quick, but it can also die off pretty quick, correct?
Coming from Florida originally myself, I can relate to it very much, as this facing the easterly direction. It has a lot of similarities in the way that the ocean moves here. To your point, it comes up quickly, it goes down quickly. It's very affected by wind swells. A lot of destinations you wouldn't want, onshore winds. Here in Japan, we welcome onshore winds because that means it will increase the surf. We know we have another typhoon out there. Speaking of typhoons, look at this guy opening up, the greatest ever, Kelly Slater, surfer in red here, and riding that same board, Chris, that he rode yesterday in the Aloha Cup, where he was representing Team USA. It's a little 5'5" twin fin shaped by Aquila Aipa. It's an epoxy, and it's got a very narrow squash tail on that board there. So a lot of flotation, which gives him the opportunity to catch waves and keep the momentum. But being only 5'5", Chris, it really fits in the tight pockets out there that we're seeing today. And then also also having the twin fin, it's going to generate speed much quicker, and it's also going to be very loose. Look at this. Look how quick he is able to float that first section. And he was even able to engage that rail and drive right up into it a couple of times there. And that's a really challenging section there, as it had a rib coming up the face at the end. But let's watch this as we slow it down even more, looking at it from a different angle. Once again, we got multiple angles here for the broadcast. We hope you guys are enjoying this live broadcast coming to you from the 2019 ISA World Surfing Games, presented by Vans. Right there, twin fin or no twin fin, he drives straight up into that section and really lays into that, Chris, releasing those fins, sliding it a bit, and you see how quickly he's able to insert that inside rail once again and then get up there and do it one more time, releasing, sliding. And then he, well, that's going to be all she wrote. But once again, that board suiting these conditions here for Kelly Slater, all 5'5" of it.
Kelly Slater going to what most would consider an unorthodox surfboard. You know, probably 99% of the field riding tri-fins. But here goes surfer in white, Kaspar Butler. I would say in this heat, this is the guy that Kelly Slater has to watch out for. He is your 2018 Australasian Pro Junior Champion. He's 19 years old, a seasoned competitor, and you can bet for him. I mean, what would you want more in a contest than to take out Kelly Slater? It's going to be tough because Kelly Slater, he dropped a 5.83 on his first wave. Kahu with a 4.17. Still yet to see waves from Perez and Haminga.
Well, and looking at Kahu, as you mentioned, representing New Zealand, he's sponsored by Red Bull, which is one of our sponsors here. So I went onto their website to check out his bio, and he says, my ultimate goal is to be a world champion one day. Well, guess what? At the end of this competition, that dream could become a reality.
12-12 to go. Slater in the lead. Something magical happens when Kelly Slater works with different shapers around the world. His good friend, incredible surfer, Akila Aipa. Get those two brains together, you come up with this board. The twin fin with a little wing at the bottom.
It's almost got a stinger like his father, Ben Aipa, who invented that stinger. So
it's an updated stinger.
It's basically what it is, you know. So it's pretty cool. It's an opportunity for to have that width still in the tail, but yet have it go narrow there after that stinger / wing, and really keep things loose as we see live action here for the Costa Rican.
Commanding attention, Perez from Costa Rica. That was one of the better looking waves we've seen of this heat. He made full use of it on the outside, now speeding to this inside section. Solid finish there. A lot of energy through the inside of that wave. There's Eva Woodland whistling, hollering, screaming, supporting her team. Eva had a good run in the women's division. Costa Rica always fields an incredible team for these ISA events.
I recognize that hair too there that ducked out around the corner. It was Carlos Munoz. Who's one of the men's surfers there representing Costa Rica. So the GOAT pulls out with an early lead of 5.83, Chris. And looks like our surfer in blue has yet to catch a wave. Does have first priority now. Let's look back at this last wave here for the Costa Rican, Perez. Nice opening turn. Brings it back to the whitewater. And again, you'll see these surfers want to stay as close as they can to the whitewater. That's where there's the most power. That's where it's the most critical, and that's where the judges want to see these surfers perform those maneuvers. So you see them not going way out in front of that. They want to stay as close as they can to that, and it also is the easiest to keep the momentum, knowing that that's going to be the steepest point of the wave. So good performance there for our Costa Rican to open things up.
Here you see Coach Jim Hogan for Team Costa Rica. So if you're on one of these teams and you surf after one of your fellow teammates, in the case right here with Perez, who just watched Noemar McGonigal put on a great performance, but eventually getting relegated to the repechage round, well, that just means that you've got to hold up your end. You've got to keep going as far as possible in the men's main event to just keep your team's hopes alive. The women did their job. They put up all the points they could on the board. So if you're looking at the leaders right now, as it stands, as we go into day 6 of competition, Brazil's in that top spot. Peru is in second. Sofia Milanovic winning the gold medal, giving them an incredible amount of points. Peru, USA, Australia, and South Africa in 5th place.
As we see Team Costa Rica there, And now that we are finished with the women's, we'll focus on the men. Neymar, we see Perez out in the water, as well as Carlos Munoz. That's a strong team there for Costa Rica. And no stranger to beach breaks. The majority of the waves, for the most part, are beach breaks. However, there's plenty of great reefs, plenty of great point breaks down there as well. So these surfers very diverse, as we see Blue getting his first wave here to open up for what is that?
The Netherlands.
Sorry, no, I couldn't see his name. I apologize.
Kaspar Haminga.
Yep.
And he did hold off Perez on that wave.
So it was twofold for him. He gets his first score as well as plays a little defense there. So a good utilization of that priority. He was currently in fourth place, and now we see our surfer in yellow once again from Costa Rica.
Perez just seems to be picking off the best waves out there. He's kind of found himself in a great rhythm. Both the waves he's surfed have had a great outside section. You see, motivated, making it all the way to the inside. Big, strong finish there for Perez.
His board looks really good too, Chris. I mean, he's getting a lot of speed out of it. You can tell there's some width there under that front foot.
And you see, grabs his board, straight back out there. 8 minutes to go. It's going to be another decent score for Perez. He started off with a 5.07. So far, the high mark in this heat, set by Kelly Slater, 5.83. Here we go, surfer in blue, Kaspar Haminga from the Netherlands. This will be his best wave. He'll continue through to the inside. Takes a look there, pulls out. And then surfer in white, Kaspar Butler, follows suit. And he's going to get a front row seat to Kelly Slater, who's got a beautiful looking midsection of this wave, whipping his trademark signature turn. A turn so good they made a statue of it in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Wow. And he's still going. In terms of board choice, loving what Kelly's riding right now. I think everybody watching is thinking, maybe I need to add a twin fin to my quiver.
Twin fins are really fun. They can be a little bit temperamental, but on the forehand, they are definitely a little bit more predictable. On the backhand is where things start to really get squirrely, on the bottom turns especially, but really suiting these conditions here for Kelly Slater. That last score right there is going to be the wave of the heat. Let's check this out. This one really came together for him. He shows a little patience, just cuts back quickly, but then he gets a steep section right there, puts the rail in the water, drives out even quicker into the next turn, and just continues to go rail to rail, and then finishing strong across the inside where it starts to double up. And no downtime on that wave whatsoever, Chris. As soon as he would come out of one move, he was engaging into that inside rail for the next move, and that's what the judges want to see, top to bottom surfing. And look at that, releasing those fins, sliding it. But as quickly as he slides it, he puts the rail back in the water, which keeps that momentum down the line, because the longer you slide, the momentum you are losing. But having only two fins and not a third in there, it allows him to go from rail to rail very quickly. Nice little coping, as we refer to that white water coming down in front of him, and he gets the fins up and over. Nice slash right there. And once again, leans on the inside toe edge, driving back up into it one more time. And every time there, Chris, instead of just putting the board up, going through the motions, you see him putting pressure on the tail, which is getting the fins up and over. Just adding that little bit more degree of difficulty to those moves. And a nice section here coming at him. And a little bit missed time there on that final move, but a great wave nonetheless comes through to 6.83 for last of Slater.
I could watch Slater in slow motion all day, because I tell you, school's in session whenever he takes off on a wave. He's done everything you could possibly do in competitive surfing, 11 world titles. He's won big wave events. He's done it all, except for one thing. He's never had an Olympic medal. No surfer ever has, for the first time ever, surfing hitting the Tokyo Games 2020. Here goes Slater with 5 minutes left on the clock. Another big section to work with, and every time you see that wind up, it's impossible not to get excited for what you're about to see. Slater now turning things up, whipping the tail around there. And that's what's fun about a twin fin, is the amount of control you can have through those turns. And then with the release, you saw that beautiful tail slide finish for Slater, as out the back, not backing down to the GOAT. This is Kaspar Butler from New Zealand. He's got a 3.73 and a 4.17. He's going to improve on those scores, no doubt. Giant turn through the mid portion of this wave.
Yeah, he needs to improve right now, Chris. He finds himself in third, looking for a 5.90 as it looked like that was our surfer there. Kaspar taking off on that right-hander. So time winding down in this one. It looks like Slater pretty solid to make it through this one as he continues to lean on those right-handers. We have another score coming through for Slater, and now Costa Rica's Perez up and riding on this one.
Couple good turns out at the back. Perez is still getting some of the better looking waves of this heat. You know, Slater has kind of flipped the switch and started to turn things on and running away with it. But I tell you, Perez, again, not intimidated by the GOAT. He's surfing his heart out here, continues to make his way towards the beach. So your surfer representing Costa Rica, hanging in there, keeping the pace that's been set by Kelly Slater. Kehu Butler could be looking at a pretty sizable score for his last wave as well, with 3.5 to go. This heat by no means over.
Yeah, that last wave for Kelly, Chris, what I'm seeing is he's starting to really kind of find the good where he wants to put his feet on this board. Let's watch this again. I think he's finding his momentum. You got to think he's not riding waves that often of this size anymore, even though he grew up in Cocoa Beach. So, you know, he's getting used to this equipment right here, riding this twin fin, and each wave he's getting better and better, which is not a good sign for the competition.
Yeah, we have the potential to see probably one of the heaviest heats you'll ever see in any contest on the planet. Talking about Kelly Slater, Gabriel Medina, Felipe Toledo, Connor Coffin still in this contest, Kalohe Andino, Italo Ferreira, gold medalists like Santiago Muniz, Leandro Osuna. I mean, there are so many world titles competing still in this contest. Representing South Africa, Jordy Smith, Mikey February. I mean, again, can't say it enough. Your favorite surfer is competing this week.
And some of those names you mentioned are already into the repecharge round, unfortunately. So that just shows you the magnitude of the competition here at this year's 2019 ISA World Surfing Games presented by Vans, as we continue to watch Slater releasing these fins, riding backwards with complete control, and then bringing it back around. And scores dropping in. That will be another scoreable wave there that will go into the score line. Kelly looking to replace a 5.83, and he's up again, Chris, as we stand by for his last score.
You know, he looks like he's having fun. And when Kelly Slater starts having fun, that is a disaster for the rest of the field. I mean, you see him just feeling so loose. He's coming in with 1:44 to go. That's not, overconfidence. That's just him knowing he's put up some huge scores on the board. So no need to waste energy. Come in. I'm sure he'll go and sign autographs for 3 more hours. So Kelly Slater working hard down here at the ISA World Surfing Games.
Yeah, you mentioned Kelly Slater looking like he's having fun out there. Anytime you see Kelly do the no claim where he does a little nose wipe, that means he's having fun.
The subtleties.
You'll see him after he's coming in from a heat and he's feeling good with his performance. He does that quite often. We saw that there as you see him kind of looking back out as this heat's winding down with 1 minute to go. A great performance there for Kelly. Nothing major as far as the scores, not up in the excellent range, but very consistent as we see his scores. His last one came through at a 6.67, so a solid score line there for him. 2-wave total 13.50, and it looks like it's going to be enough, Chris, to get the win.
Oh, I like what Kelly's doing by staying in the water, watching the rest of the competitors. That's just showing a great sign of sportsmanship. Slater dropping those 2 big sixes. Perez now in a battle for second place, going up against Kehu Butler. There you see Kelly just, keeping the respect up, knowing that you can't turn your back on your competition. He's going to have his eyes focused on the water.
That was a great look there at that board. We'll see if maybe we can zoom in one more time. The broadcast crew has been doing a great job, but you can see those wings there just about where those front fins are on that twin fin. And then it narrows out into a little squash out the back, which allows him to release that tail, as we saw, very easily. And we're going to count this one out, Chris.
All right, so as this one winds down, we have an update from our repecharge round. In heat 87 of the repecharge, Apasai Tibinilavala from Fiji in first place. Second place was Lasitha Prabhat from Sri Lanka. John Ghazi in third, representing the U.S. Virgin Islands. So we're going to take a quick break as Team USA has their post-heat celebratory meeting. Kelly Slater gets the win We're going to wait for that official results for second place. As it stands now, it is Perez, but we've got a lot of scores yet to come through. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more action and a post-heat interview with Kelly Slater. So don't go anywhere. You're watching the 2019 ISA World Surfing Games presented by Vans.
So there's just different levels. There's like little slams, there's nicks, there's cuts. Then there's, the torn ligaments, the knees and shoulders and that. So when you go through any of it, it just makes you feel alive. That's what it is. Wiping out just makes you feel alive. But the thing is wiping out's made my life actually, because you figure the wave I rode at Chopo was actually a wipeout. So it's actually made me who I am.
We make skate shoes, really grippy skate shoes. So we thought, why not make a skate shoe for surfing? A super grippy one. A surf booty so grippy, you'll want to wear them all the time, even in warm water. Introducing the Vans Surf Boot Mid.
Welcome back to Miyazaki, Japan for watching the 2019 ISA World Surfing Games presented by Vans. We've got a great morning of action for you unfolding here. Main event, round 2 in the men's division. We've seen some big upsets throughout the course of the morning, and we get to getting ready to get underway here with heat number 10 of the round. Brad Bricknell here alongside Carle Carranza for the call. And we saw the GOAT, Kelly Slater, the greatest of all time, putting in a fairly convincing display in that last heat.
Yeah, his board was looking really, really good under his feet, and I feel like, in anything Kelly Slater does, if it's any kind of contest competitively, I don't think I've ever seen a human that wants to win more than him. Any heat, anything that he does, he takes it full on. And it was nice to see him there take out the win alongside Jairo Perez from Costa Rica.
I'm sure we'll catch up with Kelly shortly, but let's introduce the heat in the water to you. In the red singlet, it's going to be Angelo Bonomelli from Italy, Geroid McDade from Ireland, Hira Terinatufa from France, and Jay Quinn from Great Britain. Of course, France and Great Britain here fall all together with Tahiti, and of course England, Scotland, and Wales fall under Great Britain. And here goes our man Angelo Bonomelli from Italy, winding up on his backhand here, a smaller inside wave, but does a lot of work on that little section. Terinatufa from Tahiti, representing France, kicks out of his, and looks like a Jay Quinn here representing Great Britain. Just all getting a quick fire start there. Not too many fireworks in that opening exchange, but we've seen over that last couple of heats, surf maintaining its consistency today. Carle.
Yeah, like how you said, no fireworks on that one. I think the fuse is lit, but nothing has gone off yet. I think it will, as we see the next heat going out. It will be, well, we'll focus on that in a second. Angelo Bonomelli from Italy in red, Geroid McDade from Ireland in the white, Hira Terinatufa in yellow, and Jay Quinn in blue from Great Britain. So we have one ISA world champion, and that is Hira Terinatufa, who won back in Ecuador. An incredible power surfer from French Polynesia. A very humble charger as well in Chopo, the end of the road, one of the famous waves in the world, as we see our Irish surfer up and riding.
Here goes Geroid McDade. On his backhand, you have this little right-hander now standing up for the Irishman. Beautiful tag over that section to get onto this open face. He hacks that one around, and behind him there goes Hira. Tall, lanky surfer, powerful on his feet. As you can see, so much energy here as he winds his way through this inside section, trying to find something here to light the fire as he kicks out the back of that one. So all surfers now on the board. Of course, Jay Quinn, you might have seen him surfing in the ISA World Surfing Games before. He actually is a two-time winner of the ISA Junior World Champions. And he's from New Zealand, but he is born to a Welsh mother. And he changed allegiances a couple of years ago to now represent Great Britain. And he's up and riding on this wave over here. Beautiful snaps all the way through the inside section. This one doesn't quite stand up tall, but he's doing a lot of work rail to rail.
One of the best styles in the business. This man, I wish I could surf with that style. So clean and smooth. Great surfing.
Incredible stuff there. Well, Kelly Slater is alive and well in the main round of the men's, and he's ready now with Jody Nelson on the sidelines.
Thanks, Brad. Kelly, surfboards are kind of like golf clubs in the sport of golf. For people who aren't familiar with our sport, can you kind of explain how picking the right board and the right conditions comes in handy?
Yeah, fins also come in handy in small waves. It's funny because so many people think if you ride a bigger wave on a small board, you need a bigger fin. It's actually counterintuitive. It's just the opposite. So in small waves, you need a bigger fin. And I'm riding a twin fin, little 5.5. Length of the board seems to fit in the wave a lot better. It's got a pretty pulled-in tail behind the wing and where the fins are, and so it kind of keeps a little hold. It doesn't drift too much through turns. So I feel like I can still kind of push the board, but the length of that board fits in real nice.
Now, we've been seeing some of the bigger championship tour names going down in these first rounds and going down to the repechage. Yeah, what's your takeaway from seeing that?
Glad it's not me. That's just, it's not a lot of energy. Well, your legs get a little worked on the ride because they're slow, but as far as the paddle's not hard, the waves are small. And it's just running that number of heats in this heat. Just one heat in this one time out surfing in this heat kind of burns you down a little bit. You really got to hydrate. So I think Chris has surfed 6 heats the other day, I heard. And the waves were pretty big that day, so it would have been taking it out of her. I don't want to be in those repechage heats, so I'm really just trying to focus on those heats I got and try to keep it down to half the number of heats I have to surf if I keep moving through.
All right. Well, we love watching you surf, so congratulations on making it. I'm sure we'd all be happy if you made it in the repechage because we get to see you surf more.
I want to rest.
All right, guys, we'll send it back to you. Thanks, Kelly.
Awesome stuff there. Jody Nelson there with the greatest of all time, Kelly Slater, 11 times world champion. And he's very, very interested in the Olympic movement for surfing. And, of course, that's why he is here representing Team USA. Let's pay attention now to this hit in the water. This is